5 of the best ceramide infused moisturizers that are not CeraVe. Yes, CeraVe is very, very popular. A lot of people love it. A lot of doctors and dermatologists recommend it, and it's because it has ceramides and it's inexpensive. But there are certain people, like myself, that don't prefer to use CeraVe. I'm personally cruelty-free, and that matters a lot to me. Other people have actually found that formula really sticky and like unpleasant to use on the skin. And although it's wonderful that it's fragrance-free, some people do prefer products that have a little bit of a scent to them. So I have some untraditional products that actually have ceramides in them, and we'll be talking about the best ceramide infused options for mature skin, for people who like K-beauty, for people who have sensitive skin and have extra needs that maybe CeraVe didn't cut it for them, or they just don't want to support that brand, which is perfectly okay. So what are ceramides and why are they so great? Well, ceramides are naturally made by our skin. They make up to 50% of the outer layer of our skin. That's the stratum corneum, or those dead corneocytes, dead keratinocytes that sit on the skin. And ceramides are really important to make sure that our skin's barrier is functioning properly, to make sure that our skin can hold in hydration. And a lot of people don't realize they're really good for graceful aging or for helping to plump up fine lines and wrinkles. A lot of ceramides are used in anti-aging products because they can help to really plump and revitalize the skin. So let's talk about some of these options that are not CeraVe, and yes, all of these are cruelty-free. Now, understandably, these are at different prices, so which one of these is going to be best for you depends on the formula and the price, but that's why I'm here to help you figure it out. So this one is probably the closest dupe to CeraVe, and this is for somebody who wants a vegan, cruelty-free alternative. We could do an entire video on CeraVe dupes and recommendations that are cruelty-free or are even less expensive in some cases, but this one depends on where you get it. It's from Earth Science, and I found that it does tend to be a couple dollars more. This is the Ultra Moisturizing Cream, and man, this is thick. If you use this in the winter, it is like straight up pasty balm, and even in the summer, as you can see, it is very thick, but it does blend in if you do live in a warmer climate or in a warmer temperature. Now, if you're someone who loves that CeraVe is fragrance-free, if you love that thick, occlusive feel to some of their moisturizers, especially their balms, this is going to be for you. This Ultra Moisturizing Cream is probably the closest thing on the market. It is fragrance-free and has a pH of 4.5, which is pretty much exactly where the skin wants to be. So this is super great for people who do have a damaged skin barrier, who have really sensitive skin, and they're just looking for a CeraVe alternative. Although this is a base of water, cocoa seed butter, and sweet almond oil, this does have ceramide MP, and I find that this actually absorbs into the skin really nicely, and it does create like this thick, occlusive barrier. Now, it's not greasy on the skin, it doesn't feel oily or slippery, so I would say this is best if you want like an invisible skin barrier. But if you're someone who struggles with eczema, if you're someone who struggles with skin irritation, if you've got a damaged skin barrier and you're looking for something to work, this is it. Now, what if this is too thick and you do want something that's a little bit more lightweight? This from the Inky list is phenomenal, and it's also fragrance-free. Now, this is the Ceramide Night Treatment from the Inky list, and as you can see, it actually comes out a lot more liquidy. This formula I find to be a slightly more hydrating, whereas the other one is a bit more moisturizing, so again, that occlusiveness, whereas this, as you can see, it almost goes on like this thin gel texture. Now, I find this absorbs into skin really, really nicely, but if you do have an oily skin type and you're looking for hydration that doesn't like ball up or, get thick on the skin, this is a really nice lightweight option. This is only $14.99, and it has Ceramide NP as well as Ceramide AP and Ceramide EOP. All three of these together make a really nice ceramide blend, and this formula actually has a bit of jojoba oil in it, which is maybe why I love it so much. But as you can see, it doesn't leave the skin overly greasy. It's really nice and lightweight. So if you are someone who tried CeraVe and you were like, I don't understand the hype behind this, I get that it has ceramides, I get that it's fragrance-free, but it just makes my skin feel grody, you might love this. Again, $14.99, you can get this at Sephora, whereas I think I got this one off of like iHerb or somewhere online, but the Inky list is really accessible. James Welsh is the reason that I actually started trying and using this, and for my skin type, which is oily prone and acne prone, I freaking love this. Now, what if you are someone who wants to try out ceramides, but you love the experience of skincare? Maybe you love K-beauty. You're okay with a mild sensorial experience because skincare is not just a routine, it's a ritual. And let's just say that you're the type of person who loves K-beauty and really values your skincare routine and like puts it all out on your bathroom countertop. This is for you. This is from Pure Am, and this is the Authentic Barrier Cream Balm. This is an amazing balm from Korea, and a lot of their marketing kind of goes into clean beauty. So when I first saw that, I was like, oh no, here comes another brand who's gonna like, sell me their detoxifying, face cream cream mask thing. But actually, this has been tested and scientifically proven on skin. They did like a 10-layer skin test to show that even with some of these mild sensorial ingredients, this is safe for eczematic and sensitive skin, which was really, really cool to see. The person who actually created this, her name is Jean, and she grew up in Korea, but she saw that her daughter was struggling with skin. And in Korea, as we know, it's really a hub and kind of a mecca for plastic surgery and for skin treatments and for innovations in skincare. But Jean would constantly look around and see all of these people getting facial surgeries and augmentation, and she almost wished that there was something that she felt that she could trust to put on her daughter and her sensitive skin, but also that didn't perpetuate this need for plastic surgery or changing ourselves. She wanted something that helped people embrace who they are, and I didn't even know that when I first tried this line. Then I learned the word pure am, it's a little apostrophe, and it means pure I am. And it's not only about, you know, their ingredients, which I get that they've certified and like created their own definition of clean, which, you know, any brand can do that. I get that they've certified it for that, but her whole idea is that it's authentic. It's an authentic barrier cream, and it's about allowing people to be exactly who they are and use skincare as something that is hygiene and a choice, and not this need to undergo specific surgeries or procedures and things like that. And in her mind, this is really her way to kind of fight back against the industry. And when I learned that, I appreciate that so much because it stands for so many of the same things that I do. And even when using this barrier cream, oh my God, if you are looking for a hydrating, nice ointment that is a sensorial experience that feels beautiful on the skin, it absorbs wonderfully, but it almost leaves you with that soft, supple skin that's like, it's not that dry touch, but it's not dewy or greasy. This is absolutely it. This has ceramide NP, but it also has a base of kind of shea butter, of water, and of jojoba oil, which is I think why I love this so much. But if you're someone who loves K-beauty, you're looking for something that really sits on the skin nicely, it absorbs. You wouldn't want to wear this in like a hot, humid climate or on like the hottest days of summer. But if you're someone who's constantly exposed to like environmental pollution, if you live in a big city, if you tend to get little dry patches when the weather changes or when it does get too dry, this is an absolute must. And I also love the brand, at least from my knowledge currently. I think they only have 3 products. They're about kind of skin minimalism, which as somebody who understands that I consume a bit too many skincare products, I appreciate that philosophy and I'm trying to adopt it a bit more. But for now, my skin has adopted and loved this. It is vegan, it is cruelty-free. They make these, you know, clean claims, which I don't stand behind, but they did have this tested by dermatologists in Germany for sensitivity, and I was like, yeah, if you're gonna do clean beauty, that's at least one of the ways to do it. Now to another brand that I feel is a little bit too much of the clean beauty pushers, but they actually back it up with science, is this one from Juice Beauty. This is actually a stem cellular anti-wrinkle overnight cream, and if you are someone who has mature skin, if you're worried about fine lines and wrinkling, or you want to age gracefully, because remember, I believe that aging is a privilege, not everybody gets to do it, this is one of the best overnight moisturizers you can use. Juice Beauty is a line that is really committed to sustainability, and the founder was actually one of like the first people like in the wellness movement like 30 years ago, but her husband is a cardiologist. So even with their skincare line, they really combine this idea of science and nature. And what I personally love is that they source a lot of their products from a farm that they actually have. So they're using things like apples, like grapes. The farm is completely organic. They're committed to like sustainable soil practices, and even their offices are all solar powered. Everything they do, they really stand behind supporting the environment, which I appreciate. Now, one thing about Juice Beauty is that they do have a lot of plant ingredients, and so if you are sensitive to fragrances, if you don't like apple, if you don't like grape or lemon or olive oil or squalane, this is not going to be the brand for you. But if you are someone who has mature skin, you don't mind spending a little bit extra on a brand that really does what they say they do, and they stand behind the environment and their practices, that's backed by science, and that does have some great ingredients, oh my God, you are going to love this. So this stem cellular, yes, it does have fruit and, you know, plant-derived stem cells in it, but it also has beta-glucans. They have a bunch of firming and brightening peptides in here, as well as good old ceramide NP. If you are looking for something, you could do this during the day. There's not anything in here that would make you super light sensitive, but it is for overnight, and I would recommend it overnight. If you're looking for an overnight balm that you could put on in the evening, it moisturizes you overnight, and you just wake up looking and feeling absolutely refreshed, this is what I would recommend. And I understand that this is not a price for everybody. It's $75, so even though I don't consider it luxury, I understand that it's higher on on the list. And what sucks is that, you know, purchasing products that are made with recyclable packaging and that come from carbon neutral facilities, you would think that recycling would cost less, but it actually does cost more. They do test their products using studies. Again, these are funded by the brand, but they do report that 91% of participants said that they had an overnight replenishment of skin's moisture, 88 said that they had improved skin hydration, 85 said an increase in skin smoothness in the morning and, you know, healthier glow, nice skin, blah, 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 blah. If you do have more mature skin, this really soaks in nicely. Some of those peptides and beta-glucans are excellent for all skin types, but especially those that are a little bit more dry or kind of prone to, you know, that creping or that wrinkling. I don't even have the most mature skin, but I love this, and I actually got this from my auntie, who she has the type of skin that we're discussing, and she freaking loves this as well. Amazing if you have the budget and want to support the environment, but what if you're looking for something that you can wear overnight, but still gives you that refreshed feeling when waking up? This from Purito is phenomenal. This is the Dermide Cica Barrier Sleeping Pack, which, yes, has a bunch of ceramides, but it also has a bunch of other great ingredients, such as Centella asiatica. Centella asiatica, or tiger grass, is really excellent for more irritation-prone skin. This is also a fragrance-free option from Purito. Purito was great because they really listened to their customers, and basically their customers said, we want this fragrance-free, and they said, okay. And it is a sleeping pack, but I find it to be light enough that if you wanted to, you could use this as like a day moisturizer. It might be a little bit heavy if you have oily skin like myself for a day moisturizer, but if you're dry to combination, this could be a really good moisturizer under sunscreen. This not only has Centella asiatica, but it also has jojoba oil. It has sodium hyaluronate, which you know is a humectant, so it grabs onto water. And the good thing is that there is enough hydration in this product that it's taking the moisture from the product to plump the skin, and it's not dehydrating the skin from the inside out. But as you even see with the formula, it's a little bit more of a lightweight formula. So if you're someone with deep set wrinkles or super dry skin, this might not be for you. This might be for someone who, you know, is looking for something a little bit lighter on the face, but it still gives you that feeling when you wake up of just being rejuvenated and silky and almost like this velvet sheen that veils your cheeks in the morning. Now the ceramide in here is Ceramide NP. It's at 3,000 parts per million, and it is a really good amount, and this really works well on the skin. I find that this is a great barrier balm. I do struggle with a little bit of eczema and psoriasis, especially like on my knees and in my underboob area. Normally I use corticosteroids because I have access to those, but at times I have used this one as well as this one, and both have done pretty well for me during the winter. Now, as I get closer to the summer, I think I will be reaching more for these and maybe this for night. But if you're looking for CeraVe alternatives and you didn't like the formula, or you don't like that they're not cruelty-free, or you just want other options because you're sick of it, you're over it, you're done with it, that is okay, and these are what I would recommend. Let me know if you've tried any of these, and also remember to stay hydrated and reapply your sunscreen, because it doesn't matter how many ceramides you have in your routine, you need to make sure that those corneocytes and those keratinocytes and those melanocytes are protected from the sun. There's another video right here that you might enjoy with a little bit more skin science, and I cannot wait to see you beautiful butterflies in this next video. Love you guys. Bye.